we're going to see him make that name throughout the bracket.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll get to see some of him in here as well. But first of all, let's start off by seeing Cultist versus Fig. And to be honest, I wouldn't know who's playing who, because as far as
player who has been dissatisfied with what he believes to be the gimmick of the ice. He's playing, I think, still Fox, but mostly Wolf. But right now we're watching Terry. It's gonna be an experience.
It's gonna be a slugfest for sure.
Yeah. The matchup in particular, I feel like Ness actually does really well at dealing with putting Terry in a disadvantage and just running with it.
Good DI there by Fig, though, to stay alive. Like, that's one of the things you were talking about, right? Is that you have to beat Terry into his win condition, and no DI there on the power dunk means
trying to take center stages. Cultist there trying to stay a little bit more lively at his 118. Just maybe get off one of these special go moves so he gets some big damage. Back throw barely not going to kill. And Terry kind of struggles to recover against Ness sometimes with his A. He's got that PK flash he can throw at B. That PK thunder is terrifying. And the fact that he never snaps the ledge, if you don't get invincibility, so that down smash, the yo-yo is just going to eat you alive.
Yeah, you'd be remiss if you were talking about Ness's edge guarding and did not bring up the yo-yo, because it's one of his most powerful tools, and because of the parry, it's very important there that Cultist did not cross him up, and that's why Fig tried to forward tilt the other way and whiffed.
Yeah. But to be fair to him, I think that he would have not had the frames to actually punish if he didn't parry it, because that is an intense shield pressure situation. The forward tilt into the side B does so much pressure on the shield, and honestly, it's really hard to punish most of the time.
Well, we'll see. I mean, Ness also has a whole lot of shield pressure that is very difficult to punish. I think that's one of the things that defines both of these characters very deeply, is that once they get close back on the offensive. Good DI there by Fig, though, not getting hit by that rising tackle.
Yeah, just out of range that the tippy toes hit him, knocked him into it. Oh, geez.
Yeah, don't put yourself into free fall against the Ness, man. That's just asking for a bat to come to your face.
Definitely a bat, or even many of his aerials can set up for more chains, like falling up air just leads into a grab, or up tilt launchers him back into the air. It's not an easy time. Falling forward air just into the forward tilt, gets it back off stage, and ooh, he barely made it back. Great
distance.
Great job holding on to that distance.
Barely within that power geyser too. Good stuff by Fig, though, to stay alive here. You gotta hope that, he can get out of that corner, right? Because if Terry's keeping you in a corner, there's really no recourse for you to get out of there unless the Terry makes a mistake. But right there, that Nair catching Cultist on a bit of a committal jump. And that's one of the things that is big about Terry and most of the Shotos, right? Is that once they go into the air, that's kind of your time to strike, because it's such a big commitment for them.
Oh yeah, they have very, very telegraphed air drift that they can't really mix up super well, if at all. And but on the ground, that's where they shine. Going in with those big normals, finds that down tilt, was able to convert. This time, no DI was going to escape that up special. That rising tackle.
Obviously, Fig on these tech chases, though, done a really good job of reading Cultist movement, particularly a lot of movement away, right? Trying to not be anywhere near the Ness, and then getting the follow-up for another TK fire if he's on the ground, or catching him just drifting away rather than trying to fight back or going upwards. But now, again, Fig has got to respect the go mode. And with that on in the corner, you look out for the power geyser, and he's gone! Oh my goodness!
He got the down tilt into that hard up tilt, barely caught him on the very edge of that power geyser, and I got it. That had to be DI the wrong way, because the power geyser was just hitting him on the tip on the very other side. Flew straight off the top. Straight off the top.
And I mean, we saw that there was some good DI from Fig in that game too, right?
And the fact that he was DIing that way, I think, was still great, because he almost didn't get hit by that power geyser. DIing the up tilt that far behind Terry almost didn't connect at all. But it did, and that's the most important part, is connecting at that point. You just get blown up.
Yeah, I mean, and again, being that high up when you get hit by the power geyser means that a PS2 doesn't have the highest ceilings, right? It's not Battlefield,
Yeah.
and that's why you can expect to see a Ness who is a light character. And the other thing that you have to remember about Go mode is that not only are these attacks very powerful, you also have rage behind them.
Yeah.
Right? They're already going to have an internal power boost over what they would normally be.
You could never have it without rage.
Yeah.
so those moves definitely got to pack a bit of a punch. Terry, we were talking about it earlier. He's a terrifying character. Even if you think you're doing well, you're literally beating him into his win condition. So you have to play really carefully around that. That's one of the reasons I think Ness is a better character against him, because sometimes you can avoid that. You can get these early low percent gimps or really pressure in offstage situations. But, I mean, we saw how well Cultist was recovering, going super deep on that almost last stock there. Just the tippy toes touching and getting a hold of that ledge with a rising tackle.
Mm-hmm.
Just good utilization of your resources and mixing up how you're going to recover makes it a lot harder for the Ness to cover everything.
Okay, so I was confused. I was like, I don't think that Cultist would play either of these characters, and it turns out it's not.
Oh.
This is actually Special versus Dtazz.
Okay.
So, two players that I have not heard of, and that makes a little bit more sense, right? Because, again, knowing Cultist as well as I do, the guy lives 10 minutes away from me.
Yeah.
I was like, I just, something feels off to me, but also I haven't talked to him in like a month and a half.
Yeah.
So, maybe he has picked up a Terry, and it would make sense. I would not be surprised.
In this day and age, I feel like Cultist is like the kind of person to say, you know what, it's a Wi-Fi tournament, I'm gonna pick Terry.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick Terry.
It could happen.
He's the kind of guy that knows firsthand what Shotos can do to you online, because boy does Texas have quite a few of them.
Oh yeah.
But regardless, Cultist and Fig are not the ones we were watching. Like I said, it is Special and Dtazz. So that is Dtazz, of course, as you saw in the tags, playing the Terry. Special the one on the Ness, and let's see Special make the comeback here. Town and City is the venue of choice, and I honestly am amazed that that gets left open for Ness, considering that now you can potentially kill the Terry with a back throw before he gets go mode, because you're on Town and City.
Yeah, that's true. This is definitely a solid stage for Ness. Now, it could be horrifying to get hit with a Buster Wolf at the edge of the stage, or even just the side special natural is going to do some damage, right? But yeah, I do agree. I feel like Ness gets a lot more out of this being able to get these edge guards going on. But we do see go mode active. No, that power geyser is a horrifying thing to get hit by, but if you block it, it is actually not very flexible. It's not very safe at all. It's super nice.
Oh my goodness. The okay, I have to say, despite the fact that we're on Town and City, right, everybody's thinking about the horizontal game, right? Dtazz's anti-airs have been so good this entire set. Game 1 they were on point, in Game 2 it doesn't look like it's changed that much. I am amazed how much distance he's getting out of these recoveries.
Right, even going a little bit lower with that power dunk to avoid the PK Thunder, still mixing it up really, really well, but does eventually get anti-aired in his own right by Special. Catching with that up there, so wide. Nice disc point, you know.
Auto correct helped him out there, man. No thinking required. Press the button. Terry's got you, boy.
Yeah, that jab power dunk is a nice classic 25% B&B that just, it always works. You'll always get the job done.
Like, he actually got behind him with that roll. And that got me like, okay, like, he wouldn't have gone that far. Ness would have gotten jammed. Fastball inside, right? But that time, it's right down the middle. Belt high. Oh, again!
Cut him on the lag!
He batted in his own run!
That's insane.
So what? That's huge for Special, right? To get a stock rolling that quickly. And again, take care of the Terry. Take care of Dtazz before go mode even becomes a problem. And it's all because of, like I was mentioning in that first set, the tech chases.
You know, now he has moment to himself here to actually, if he wants to, doesn't have to go that crazy, just take the incremental damage and play by the edge so he can try to force another situation like that where he can take the early stop. Not worry about go mode. Sick option coverage there, covering the tech in, still putting on nice amount of damage.
I mean, not only was the down smash so good because it worked as a tech chase, right? It had such good coverage. It also set up for another one, and that shows you that Special knows, he's realized at this point what his win condition is here against the Terry. And he goes, okay, if I'm continually getting my stocks and my damage on the tech chases, I just got to set up for that. But off stage, you got to hit those recoveries, man.
Yeah, for a moment, I thought this was the way that he hit that last air dodge, max distance, just avoiding the down smash, but
Other direction, that's going to be bad for Dtazz. Without a double jump, going to be the end of the stock. I think that even if he had the full rising tackle, wouldn't have done him any good right there. So Special walks away with a clean victory in that game. Kind of, you know, after he lost that first stock, just took control, found out, you know, a couple of weaknesses in Dtazz's game, and I think particularly in that the offense wasn't really all that calculated. It was very powerful offense, don't get me wrong. Certainly won Dtazz game 1, but I think that it was less focused on how to pick apart the defense from the Ness rather than trying to avoid the offense and then apply your own.
A lot of it was just simple B&B and option coverage kind of stuff that naturally, I know this works, and then no big adaptation to take from that, saying, okay, I can forward tilt, and then I can go for the side special cover. Anything after that, it's really hard to punish that. But you haven't reacted to what Special's doing after that and finding more coverage after that. So that's the hard part. Is I've conditioned you and I've shown you this is what I can do to apply pressure, but you haven't really found the next step to say, okay, this is how you get out of it. Now let me punish that.
That's what I think that Special did a good job of in that game, was sort of playing the process, right? And figuring out, okay, I've completed one step. I'm not going to get stuck on that. I'm going to move on to the next step now to up the game, and that is why this game is 1-1. So we're on FD for game 3. Again, going to be great for Dtazz considering how good his anti-airs have been. And, you know, again, in particular, just if Terry can't get platform camps, then it's helpful.
Oh yeah. He doesn't have a lot of great buttons to really cover the opponent floating in the air. Now, floating Ness probably isn't going to platform camp, but not having the option at all is great. Because Ness does. Now we're already seeing GOML again trying to get the bounce but still living off that up there. If he's able to make it back to the stage, this could be huge. That's a big hit. This is still hard to get through.
Oh no! That was a, I mean, I'm going to tell you right now, that was a hanging curveball for Special right there, right? Because normally we've seen him like, okay, he's hit a couple of really whack, not really whack, but, you know, forward smashes where you wouldn't normally expect them to come out, but that right there was just a free, just, I'm sitting right here, come and hit me, and then he did, got that first stock, and again, we've seen that Dtazz is kind of struggling, trying to pick apart the defense from Special, and that's what he's going to be able to play. He's got a rather big lead at this point.
Not hitting for him, he's just kind of going for the dump down tilt and then hoping that one of them will right. And of course, hit confirming on Wi-Fi. Yeah. But that's some of the strength and some of the weaknesses, Terry. All in one right there with Wi-Fi.
And that right there, I think, was a little bit of a misplay. Really not too bad for Ness, but I think that Dtazz has just mostly shown him that he's not going to bobble around off stage. He's generally going to go directly back and try and get on the ledge or try and get back on, and their Special just kind of gave him an avenue to get back on and take control of the stage. So even though Dtazz has the go mode right now, he's still got a lot of fighting back to do. 130, back throw from anywhere is going to take the stock.
Oh yeah. And now the fire's going to be that much easier. He's just jumping right around, staying jumping range, and finally gets the punish off of that parry. He's parried so many of them in these setups that finally finds like a clean punish, gets the grab. Exactly, that's gonna do it. Now he's got charging the forward smash there. Right around the up smash though. Because still has some level of life in it.
Yeah, no, I mean, again, Terry has the comeback factor, not just in the go, but just in general. Again, you see the parry from Special, and this is what I like seeing about Special's defense, right, when he's playing with the lead, is that I've just seen a lot of, okay, I'm not really going to swing until I have, like, sort of a guaranteed place to hit. I'm not going to go until it's safe, and against Terry, that's the way you got to play it, right there.
That's what you got to do.
Yeah, you're talking about the edge guarding that Ness has got, and that was it in full effect.
Don't ever let him use that go mode. If you give it to him, just take it right back away, drop that stock. And I love the parry on the most recent parry on that side Special, especially because after the down tilt and the forward tilt pressure on the shield, I think if he didn't parry it, it was either going to guaranteed poke or just pop the shield. And even though it was at 0, I don't think it would have died. That would have put a lot of momentum swinging back into Dtazz's favor. Maybe he could have made that comeback. But the parry, that's a momentum stopper immediate. I'm going to put you back in disadvantage and then just cleanly take the game.
Yeah. And that's one of those things that I feel like you've got to, you know, recognize as Dtazz in that situation, right? As you were talking about it, the parries have continually come out from special in that situation, and especially on the side special, right?
Yeah.
On the burning knuckle. And at that point, you have to go, okay, if I try and do this burning knuckle, he's probably going to parry it. So maybe I mix in a power dunk, right?